Are you struggling to get clients for your AI agency? You did the build, you thought that would be the hard part, now it's ready to sell, and you're struggling. Well, I'm here to tell you that's exactly what happened to me when I started. I thought the build would be the hard part, when it turns out that selling is 90% of the work. My name is Anthony. I've been in online business for about 2 years. I've been doing AI automation for 6 months. When I started, I had no experience, and now I have an AI startup selling AI voice agents. We have an office, we have funding, and we have a 300 plus client pool. But without further ado, let's get into this. So we have how to land your first AI client with one simple method. Now, disclaimer, this entire video is going to be about how to get your first clients when it comes to selling AI voice agents, but this does work across a lot of AI automations. You're just gonna have to kind of think to yourself while watching this video, okay, how can I tailor this to my specific use case? All right, so how to land your first AI client with one simple method. We're gonna go one step at a time. I'm gonna walk you through this marketing method, and by the end, you'll be ready to start hitting the phone. It only took me 17 calls on my first day of using this method until I got a booked demo. Now, with the knowledge I've gained and the fine tuning I've done to my script, I land demos almost every 5 phone calls. If you want my call script, it's going to be inside of my school group. I always download all the resources that I showcase in a video, and I put them inside of the school group, my AI circle. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is find your leads. We're gonna be using LinkedIn and Indeed, and we're going to be going to the job posting section of these platforms and look for companies that have job postings out for AI receptionists, for front desk workers, for phone assistants. I gotta have my glasses on. These are businesses that are already in need of AI receptionists, front desk workers, people to answer phones. That's why this method is so great, because you have proof of concept. These are people that are in need of the service that you're providing. These are the industries that I recommend going after: med spas, dental, HVAC, barbershops. A lot of people are concerned about HIPAA compliance when it comes to med spas and dental clinics, the medical field, which you do have to worry about HIPAA compliance. I'm not saying don't, but what I'm saying is much simpler than you think it is. Platforms like Retail AI, Vappy AI, they're already what's called BCI compliant. So they have systems in place that make them compliant. You have to send them an email asking for their compliance contract. Once you sign it, you're all good to go. Everything you do on their platform will now be HIPAA compliant. So once you have a decent list of people you can contact, they're within this field, they have job postings up for phone assistants, now you have to get their phone numbers. So sometimes the platforms like Indeed or LinkedIn, they don't have their phone numbers, and even worse, you can't click on their name to go to their website. It doesn't bring you directly to their website. So if there's no contact information on LinkedIn or Indeed, or you can't access their website straight from LinkedIn or Indeed, you're gonna have to go to Google and get their phone number. But it's very simple, because in LinkedIn and Indeed provide information on the business. So use information from those platforms, such as the business name and their location, plug them into Google, and you'll find the business within a few minutes. Once you know who you're gonna contact, you have their contact information, you need to create a call script. Now, this is the bread and butter of this entire sales method. If you want my exact call script, like I said, it's gonna be in my school group, but this is how I would build one if I were you. You have to address the first issue that you're going to run into, which is most of the time when you call these businesses, you're going to be hit by their existing receptionist. Now, especially with the product we're selling, AI voice agents, it's going to be a little awkward when you're like, hey, I built an AI that kind of replaces you. I literally had a cold call once where I got put on the phone with the receptionist. I thought she was a decision maker. I pitched her and she was like, yeah, I'm the front desk worker. I handle the phone calls. And I like froze for a second. And then I was like, do you hate your job? And she laughed. I didn't get the gig, but at least she was cool about it. So anyway, to bypass the receptionist, mention the job posting. That will get you straight to the decision maker. Say something like, hey, I saw you guys have a job posting up. You're looking for a front desk worker. You're looking for someone to answer your phones. Can I speak to the right person about that? They're gonna be like, oh, yeah, hey, and they'll go and grab whoever's in charge. Once you have the person in charge on the phone, you're gonna wanna pitch them real quick. Be like, hey, I saw your job posting for a front desk worker. Now, full disclosure, I'm not applying for the position myself, but I build AI receptionists for businesses. They're smarter than humans. They connect straight to your systems like your calendar. They can answer questions on your business. You don't have to train them. They work 24/7 and for a third of the price of a human. Now, I know this may sound confusing. However, I guarantee it'll be worth your time. I know you're busy right now. I know I might have caught you off guard. I would love if I can get 15 minutes of your time later this week to talk more about it. How does that sound? If you can confidently get that pitch across, you're going to get clients 1 out of every 2 times. The ultimate goal of the phone call should be about booking the demo. So when you're creating your call script, make sure you have the bypass receptionist part, the pitch to the decision maker, and then your CTA, your call to action, which is you're going to be trying to book a demo. So figure out when they're free and make sure to mention to them that there's no commitments. If anything, you could say something like, I'm sure you know how big AI is getting. Learning a little bit about the industry will only benefit you. All right, moving on to actually making the calls. So of course, make sure you have your script ready. Read it over a few times, practice with your mother, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandmother, whoever. Once you're ready, get on the phone. Keep these phone calls short and sweet. Remember, you're a stranger. They don't know you, they don't trust you, and what you're saying to them is probably completely gibberish. Which brings me to my next point. Do not mention tech. These people don't care about how your AI receptionist works, that you're using N8N, that you're using Make.com, Retail AI. All they care about is making their business better. You don't sell the product, you sell the end result. And lastly, like I said, urge them for a demo. Okay, now moving on to number 5, following up and logging everything. You need to be tracking your calls. You need to know what happened during each phone call. 2 reasons. You need to know where to get better, and you need to know who and when to follow up with. Now, how I like to break it up is you have the business name, you have how warm they are on a scale of from 1 to 10, you have their contact information, and then you have notes. In the notes is where you list how many times you have followed up, or if there's any specific details that you need to capitalize on, like sending them an email, etc. I like to scale leads on how warm they are from 1 to 10, because if a lead is over 5, I'll usually follow up with them 1 more time than I will if somebody's below 5. And when it comes to follow-ups, I recommend doing a follow-up every other day, about 3 or 4 times, or until you get a yes or no. That's going to be it for the cold calling part of this method. When it comes to getting started, fresh off the boat, I would say do 10 cold calls, iterate on your call script, speak with confidence, get better at it, and then the next day do 20 calls, and then the next day do 30 calls. There should be no reason why you shouldn't be able to fit 30 calls into your everyday routine. Even if you work a full-time job, 30 calls should only take you 2 hours max. After your first 30 calls, if you follow these steps, you will have your first demo booked. Then you're gonna get into rhythm, you're gonna be more confident, and you're going to be nailing these every 5 phone calls. When it comes to the demos, number 6, how to actually conduct them. So, you're going to want to keep it on them. Ask them questions. You don't want to come into the demo and be like, we use N8N, we use No, you're not mentioning technological stuff. That doesn't mean anything to them. Sure, if they really want to know, you tell them, but never just ramble about technology. They care about their customers. That's the bottom line. So keep the questions on them. Ask them things like, how many phone calls do you get a day? What do people normally call about? How much is the average phone call worth to you? If it's a barber, it'll be like $50, and that $50 can come in bi-weekly. Do the math in your head silently while you're on the call. When it comes to medical clients, God knows how much each client could be. It could be thousands. So figure out the biggest pain points when it comes to answering phones. Are you having trouble keeping details of everyone who calls? Are you having trouble simply answering the phone? Do a lot of people call after hours? Ask them these questions, jot down this information, and by the end of the call, you should be able to calculate the value of an AI voice agent for them. You want to take into account how much money each phone call is worth, how many phone calls they're missing, and how much they're currently paying their front desk staff, and how much of that can be replaced. This number in some fields can be upwards of $20,000. That's why this product is such gold. Not only can you save them an enormous amount of money on what would be potentially missed leads, you can save them money on front desk costs, and you're saving them time because they don't have to man the phones like they used to. Their 2 most valuable assets, anyone's 2 most valuable assets, time and money. By the end of the demo, you have to get a feel for if they're on board for this. If so, you want to book an onboarding call. If you really want to nail the demos, I have a list of questions along with a framework that I keep right next to me open in another tab while I'm on my demo calls. If you want access to that, I will also be linking that within my school group. Moving on to onboarding clients. You need to set up an onboarding call. So at the end of your demo call, figure out when they're free for another call. This call should be about 30 minutes or so. This is where you're going to collect their information. Information such as their calendar, their CRM tool, their carrier like Verizon or Optimum. This all varies based on the AI voice agent that you're building for them. So the first thing you're going to do on the onboarding call is go over the exact use case for your client. You'll already have a good enough feel for this after you conduct the demo because you'll know their biggest pain points and really the goal of what they want to achieve with an AI voice agent. Once you get onto the onboarding call, really get to the bottom of exactly what they want the AI voice agent to do, and then from there you're going to have to collect their information, their credentials. You need their calendar credentials so that you can set up N8N. You need their carrier information so that you can set up call forwarding. Once you know what they're using an AI voice agent for, you have their credentials, you need to set up call forwarding. Call forwarding is simple. You're going to log into whatever it is, their Verizon account, their Optimum account, and you're going to go to call features and select call forwarding. You're going to configure it so that all phone calls that are going into their main business line are now forwarded to your AI receptionist. What's cool about call forwarding is that you can set it up for any hours of the day. So if they only want your AI receptionist to answer after hours, set it up for when they're closed. If they want the AI to answer after a certain amount of rings so that their front desk still gets first priority on calls, you can do that as well. There's a lot of cool features. That's something you'll see once you actually log into their carrier. Now, the last step would be to go live, but this is an important step. You need to test the AI with them. So after the onboarding call, build out the AI voice agent, test it yourself, and then set up one last call for them, or just shoot them a text, be like, hey, AI voice agent is done. Send them the number to the AI voice agent, let them test it for themselves, do a little more fine tuning, and then once they give you the green light, hit live on that call forwarding and you are in business. Now, like I stated previously in the video, I'm going to be attaching my call script along with my demo script inside of my school group, Anthony's AI Circle. I would love to give it out for free. However, I can't give my time and resources to just anybody. The group is really meant for people who are more serious about building and selling AI. If you've been thinking about earning a little money on the side, I really couldn't think of a better place to start. AI is really going to dictate the rest of our lives. So this is a great entry point in learning a little bit about AI while achieving your goal of making some side income. Now, I do this full time. There's a lot of people that do. It may take a couple months to get there, but the possibilities with AI are endless. And the best part is that everyone is looking to implement it because they know how powerful it is. The majority of people that own businesses don't know the first thing about AI. So if you can learn the basics, you're 10 steps ahead of the next person. That's going to be it for this video. I hope this method was useful. I hope you don't just wait on the sidelines and let this opportunity pass you by. If you have any questions, you can also ask me inside the school group. Thank you guys for watching and good luck on the phones.